Hi everyone, thanks for stopping by and seeing what I'm up to. Besides turning off that light. Kevin's got some news for us, so I'm going to post that right after. Hope everyone's doing well and dealing and being safe with this COVID crap. Our area, it's just incredible because I have a map and it is just alternates, like each little area, the counties, all that are around me. You can see the numbers go up and down. Where the protesters were, they were in Vestal, and then they moved to Binghamton, and the COVID actually went up in those areas. It's insane. And I can't believe it, and it's very, very sad. Okay, now, with all that being said, let's meet Kevin and find out what info he has for us. All right, here we go. Oh, yes. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell for more. Bye.
Kevin here. Boy, oh boy, the banks are going to hate me for this one, but this is a quick and important PSA to everybody in America who has some form of debt, which the reality is that's most of us. Whether you have a home loan, car loan, student loan, credit card loan, and you're getting by because you've got unemployment pay or you're furloughed, but maybe you still have some savings built up, you owe this to yourself. And again, the banks are going to hate me for this, but what inspired this video is the fact that every single day I get comments from you, I get messages in our Discord chat, which you could join for free, link down below, and I get messages from people in my private live stream. Everyone is asking the same question. And honestly, maybe this is my failure because maybe I forgot. We had talked about this 2 months ago, but maybe I didn't make it as clear as I should, and that's why today I'm making this PSA. If you have debt, you owe it to yourself, your family, your children, your parents, and your future to look up what your options are to take forbearance or deferment. Let me just give you some examples before you leave, because take a look at this. This is mind-blowing, okay? Just by doing a few minutes of looking at my various different credit card companies and the various different home loans and auto loan companies and all these, I was able to find out simply by calling, my credit card companies might waive all of my annual fees on my credit cards. So if you have credit cards with annual fees, they could be gone. All you have to do is ask during this time. The banks want to keep you as a customer. They don't want to lose you during this pandemic, and they know that everybody is trying to save as much as possible. Ask, and you could see your credit card annual fees gone. If you have fees on like a home equity line of credit, ask, and they could go poof, gone for a year. Some credit card companies, just by asking, are lowering the interest rate on your card substantially below market for credit cards. Some folks are getting such low interest rates, it's almost ridiculous as they're going into forbearance or deferment programs. Obviously, ask if you can go into a forbearance program or deferment program if you have payments that you're making on credit cards. Why would you not do that? I think sometimes we get this feeling of like embarrassment or this guilt of, well, I don't know. I mean, I got some savings. I'm just going to keep making the money. If the banks have rules that say, if you experience some form of a hardship, you can ask for forbearance, and we don't need any documentation from you, and you're saving and you're worried that your income's going to go down or your job might not be there next month, or you might get laid off, or you've been laid off and you're not sure if you're going to go back to work. If you have any uncertainty because of this pandemic, you have been affected, and you owe it to yourself to ask. Take a look at this. Car loans, just by asking, and most websites will say this is case by case, but just by asking, a lot of you are getting 60, 90-day, 180-day deferments without any interest. And don't even care about the difference between forbearance and deferment and all these other fancy words. I'm gonna give you a guide for kind of what you want to look for. Okay, here it is. Really, what you want to do is you want to try to find options that lower your fees and your interest rates immediately. Just ask for those things. Write that down. Is there any way I can lower my fees? Is there any way I can lower my interest? If I take forbearance or deferment or a deferral or whatever y'all call it, if I take that, when do I have to repay that amount back? Do I have to pay all of those like 3 or 4 car payments at the end of my 3 months of forbearance? Or does it kind of just extend the loan out? Or like a home loan, does it add it to the end? That's what you're looking for. That's what you want. And if that's the option, why would you not take that? There's almost no reason not to take it. I'm going to talk to you about a couple downsides in just a moment, but I was thinking about this today. I was thinking, my gosh, if you owned, let's say, a house and 3 rental properties, let's just make an example here, okay? And the payment on each of those was $2,000 a month. Why would you not call up the lender and ask for forbearance? That would right there with those 4 properties give you $8,000 of additional monthly money in your pocket. And if that money is to be repaid at the end of the loan, which could be 25, 30 years down the road, that's like free money because you could literally take that money and invest it and you could easily double it before 25 years come up. And it's literally free money, right? It's very similar, obviously not as extreme, but with the credit cards or with a car. If you don't have an emergency fund, if you've never invested into stocks, if you've never invested in your education, if you've never invested in yourself, now is the time to, and I hate using this word, but it is what it is because these are the rules that are established. Take advantage of the fact that the banks are saying, folks, here's your opportunity to better yourself, to get ahead and to stabilize your finances, to build an emergency fund, to get a better job, to build up your savings, basically your emergency fund, or maybe start investing for the first time. All you have to do is call us and ask. So here's exactly what I would do for you, or what I would do if I were you right now. Now take out a piece of paper, any piece of paper. Don't make it too complicated. Take out a simple little booklet or notepad or whatever you got. Write down everything that's affected by your social security number. Basically, any kind of debt that's attached to your identity, right? So how many credit cards do you have? 5? Write them all down. You got a house loan? Fine, write that down. Got a loan on a boat? Write that down. Car? RV? Cool. Write it all down. All this stuff. You got student loans, medical bills, whatever. Write all the stuff down. Then put some headphones in, go clean up your garage if you haven't already, and sit there and call these companies. Put aside 30 minutes per company and just see what you can do to save money. You might be surprised, but you might not only get some of your annual fees waived, but you might be able to get deferrals or forbearance where you never even thought possible, a lot faster and a lot easier than you thought possible. These companies want to preserve you as a client. They don't want you to end up in financial trouble. They are here to help you. They are incentivized by the government to help you. If you have a home loan, the government and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they are saying, folks, no balloon payment necessary. You don't have to make all the payments at the end. We are now adding it all to the end of the loan. And you know what? We're waiving interest during the entire period. So you could literally take, look, if you didn't make your home payment for 3 months, just as an example, I mean, you could go all the way to 12 months, right? But if you didn't make your home payment for 3 months and you usually have a $2,000 payment, that's $6,000 that you now have. You could extend that to 12 months. $2,000 times 12 months, that's $24,000 of additional money. You could use that to go buy another house in the future. Put that money to work. Educate yourself. Invest it. Do something. Protect yourself and use this pandemic as an opportunity to make yourself more well off. That's my PSA. Make yourself more well off if you can during this time. You need to take advantage of the rules that exist. And now I know that in this, I'm going to, without a doubt, get comments, and this is why on any videos, and I never ask you, but hit that like button because I feel like I'm going to get dislike comments from people that say, well, I work hard, I make all my payments. And look, that's wonderful. But this video is not to be relative. This isn't to say, oh, you know what, you should make sure you pay everything, you owe it. The bottom line is this is a potential opportunity for you to increase your financial future. You owe it to yourself to take advantage of that opportunity. This isn't a comparison game of, oh, well, I'm not going to take forbearance or I'm not going to take the deferral or whatever because I'm above that. Who cares? If the banks say, hey, you know what? Kevin, you asked us for help. We'll give it to you. Hey, bank, do you need any documentation? No, hey, you said you were affected? Here you go. And I'm not saying lie, by no means. Look, I am legitimately not affected by this pandemic. And I knock on wood every day I wake up for that. Okay, well, maybe not literally, but that's how I feel, right? I don't need it. So I have not asked for forbearance or deferrals on anything, or I've not taken any forbearance or deferrals on anything. I've made all of my payments. But if I was in a situation where I was paycheck to paycheck, you better believe I am taking forbearance or deferrals on everything possible because I want to get out of the hole. I want to get out of the trap. I want to get out of being paycheck to paycheck. Give me like a 6-month breather here. Let me build up that emergency fund I've always wanted to build up. Let me build up that cash reserve. Let me start investing in stocks. Let me get Kevin's 2 free stocks with Webull when I deposit $100. Let me get Kevin's recommended life insurance on the link down below. Maybe let me get educated and join a course or something and change my life when it comes to actually my financial future. And let's get situated and use this maybe 6 to 12 month forbearance sort of debt payment pause as an opportunity to finally get ahead. And again, only do it if you're actually affected, right? We want to keep ethics in mind here as well. And to me, the ethics are if you've been affected and you have uncertainty and the banks say you can request forbearance or you can request fee waivers or interest waivers or whatever, then it is your duty to do that, to ask for that. If you've legitimately not been affected, then don't lie. As long as you don't lie, I'm all for you doing this and use this as an opportunity to take what is essentially free money. And I know I so many times I get comments that are like, well, Kevin, it's not really free money. I have to pay it back. The bottom line is, if you owe money next month in July, on July 1st, but somebody says you don't have to make that payment for 6 months or for a year, you're getting free money in the form of opportunity. The opportunity for you to finally build an emergency fund or investments and finally strengthen your financial portfolio not only makes you more likely to make your payments in the future to these lenders, if anything, you're doing the lenders somewhat of a favor because you're becoming a more stable client. You're going to be able to increase your score in the long run in your financial portfolio, but you are taking advantage of free money in the form of opportunity for 6 months to do whatever you want with that money. Education, building an emergency fund, investing. Now, fair heads up, there are some downsides. The downsides are generally you might see a temporary reduction in your credit score because of notations that say your accounts are now in forbearance. And that tends to be very temporary. I usually see those, impacts go away after about 30 days. So don't freak out if you track your credit every month. It usually goes away, especially once you start making your payments again. Also, if you have a home loan and you go into forbearance, or really on any of your lines you go into forbearance, the lenders are usually going to look for you making your payments again for 3 months before you can qualify for a home loan. Now, obviously, I'm not an attorney. I used to be a lender. I'm not a CPA. So check with all of the professionals if you have doubts or questions. I'm just some dude on YouTube wearing, I guess this is a fedora or a style fedora. I don't really know what I'm wearing an old hat, okay? So take it for what it's worth. Consider checking out Lauren's vlog in the links below, and you can see I'm just a dude who wears a shirt with a shovel on it while I'm shoveling sand at the beach for my 4-year-old son, all right? So again, consider this as an opportunity to stabilize your finances. And it's your obligation to do that. Write down that list, make those